What's good, everyone? This your main correspondent, Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room yet again, always with another one. And yes, indeed, it is another one. So apparently, Donald Trump had a town hall meeting in Georgia recently here, and we're gonna see what he had to say, especially on the border crisis situation. He had a town hall meeting with a room full of women, and they were asking a lot of questions. But of course, we're going to talk about this border situation because it affects everybody immediately and things like that. So we're going to go here now and we're going to check this out. Quarters, nickels, and dimes, people.
Look, we have a country. It grows nicely over a period of many years. All of a sudden, they're force feeding millions of people. 21 million people came in over the last 3 years with them. And they're look, we all have a big heart. We want to take care. We're not going to have a country left. There's no country that can sustain this. We're a laughing stock all over the world. They're laughing at our president and our vice president. They've never seen anything like this. We have another thing. If you touch a foot, if you put 1 foot into our country, congratulations, you have a lawsuit. You don't take the person and move the person into, out. You've got to go through years of litigation. We have lawyers that wait for people to come in. Years, you got to see the court system. We have thousands of judges at the border. No other country has judges at the border. If somebody walks in, they walk them out. Our country is in trouble. We had the best border policy. Tom Homan, you see Tom Homan on your show, but you see,
Mr. President,
he said we did the greatest job in the history of the border. And all they had to do is leave it and leave those people there.
But they didn't.
But they didn't.
All right. I want to give Nancy an opportunity because I think you really want to hear this. Nancy, please.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Nancy. I'm from Milton, Georgia, originally from Ohio.
Good.
But go dogs. Yeah. And thank you for coming. Furthering the discussion on immigrant crime along with liberal-run cities where crime is out of control. My son is a Georgia Bulldog. He was on campus the day Laken Riley was murdered. Terrifying for all those kids, right? I wanted to know, how quickly in a sanctuary city, like they're calling Athens, Georgia, how quickly can you remove those threats to our society so that our children can go out on a run, as they rightfully should be able to do in a park in the daytime by themselves? It should not be like that. And also, I was wondering, I watch television all the time. I see your ads. I don't see a lot of vocalness about these sort of crimes, these hideous crimes in your promotion. So I'm wondering why that is.
Well, we are into it. First of all, we are going to end all sanctuary cities immediately. We're going to end them because they're really...
Is that an executive order you do that with?
I could do it with an executive order. I'll have to do it with an executive order. You can do it with the Aliens Act of 1798. We can do things in terms of moving people out. We can move them out of the sanctuary cities. You have some liberal, crazy people that they fight. Normally you like to understand the opponent. Like in business, you want to understand what is the opposites. Why do they want this? You want to try and figure, why do they want open borders? Why do they want to do this? Why do they want sanctuary cities? Sanctuary cities are really meant for one thing, to protect criminals. That's what they become. We're going to end all sanctuary cities in the United States, and we're going to go back to normalcy. And we're going to have law and order. We're going to we have to reinvigorate our police. We have great police. They're not allowed to do their job. If they do their job with gusto, which is what we want them to be fair. And the sad thing is you'll always have a bad apple. And, hundreds and hundreds of arrests, one bad arrest.
Now, I could definitely agree with that. And that goes into the situation about the immunity that everybody's going to talk about and bring up, where he's just trying to give all police this overwhelming amount of immunity and things like that. No, it's when police officers step out of the line, like with the George Floyd situation, stepping out of the line, putting knees on necks and all that. That's not training in the academy. Seriously, that's not. And at the end of the day, that's out of line. That type of action from a police officer was way out of line. So those police officers need to be prosecuted with the utmost haste at the greatest extent of the law. Seriously.
And what the French toast is there to think about?
That's what he's talking about with that particular scenario. Now, you know, the sanctuary city stuff, like seriously, we can't have situations like that. You know, back in the day, like he said, though, sanctuary cities were to actually deal with more, you know, protecting criminals like it was in the Wild West. You know, certain people could move from county to county, and that particular county would protect that person under that law. Like let's just take Jesse James, for instance. You know, I'm pretty sure everybody heard of Jesse James. He could go to fucking Arkansas and live his life, but he can go to California and do crimes. You see what I'm saying? And back then, the borders were individual to a degree to where California couldn't cross over to get nobody in Arkansas, and vice versa. So, you know, yeah, and that's kind of how it works with a sanctuary city to a degree.
It's on the front page of every newspaper. And these people are incredible. They want to do their job, just like the Border Patrol. They want to do their job. We're going to let them do their job. And I'm going to give them immunity. We're going to protect them because they do things and they end up getting sued. They lose their family. They lose their house.
Can I ask you
They
about the
lose
immunity?
their pension. They lose everything. The police officers in this country are law enforcement and sheriffs, everything else. They have to be given back their dignity. They want to do their job. But we become so politically correct. I mean, you look at New York and Chicago and LA and every city, all run by Democrats, okay? Liberal, stupid Democrats. No. And our country,
So, Mr.
our country
President,
has lost its way. So it's a good question. In other words, we're going to have law and order.
I want to ask you about immunity. You mentioned the bad apples. Does that not incentivize anyone if you give everyone immunity to go after those people on forces that you know you need to deal with? So how do you
People know
balance
the
it?
bad apples, though. They do. 99% is they're just hard. They want to stop crime. You will have you're going to have a bad police officer. And I've seen it where you have one, I mean, a couple of very famous
So immunity
cases.
doesn't keep you from dealing with that.
No,
is my
because
question.
if they're going to be some people, you're going to say, we're not giving you immunity. What are you, crazy? Look what happened. Look what you've done. You've been terrible. But most of them are, you know, they just want to do their job. They're prohibited from doing their job. And that's we have to allow them to do their job. They're prohibited from, when you see these hundreds of kids walk into a department store and walk out with refrigerators and air conditioners, and the police are standing there watching it, and they're shaking. You know why they're shaking? Because they want to do their job. They want to stop them, but they're told you can't stop them. You go to drugstores now, you must know this. You go to drugstores.
That's with that situation out in California that they got, that you could steal up to $999 worth of stuff, and nobody can check you, nobody can stop you. It's just, you know, and this is real. This is real. I've done reports on this, you know, on my broadcast throughout my channel and things like that. You know, man, that's wild. Up to $999. You can steal up to that, and it's no prosecution, it's no nothing. But if you go over that 99 and steal $1,000 or $1,001 worth of stuff, yeah, we're going to come after you. I mean, I don't get it out here. It's crazy to me. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's $999 worth of stuff being retail, you know, and driving up the prices. Come on, man.
They have glass all over the place. If you want to buy a bottle of aspirin, they tell me, I haven't been in there.
You have to make a friend in the store to open it for you.
No, it's like a big deal.
Yeah.
But who can run a store like that? And they're all going out of business. So I think we all agree.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily.
All right. Shout out to that. We're going to dive off into this part. We're going to listen to Ms. Faulkner and see what she actually thought about the interview that she did with Trump. Here we go. Quarters, nickels, and dimes.
Former President Trump just wrapped up a wide-ranging town hall here on Fox, just hours ahead of Vice President Harris's sit-down tonight with Bret Baier, and that will happen on Special Report at 6 p.m. Eastern. The former president took questions from many of the women who were gathered in that audience. In 2020, there were 6% more women voting than men. So you have to take that into account. He is right now down by 14 with women and up 16 with men in the latest NBC polls. We have new polling coming in pretty much every day from a lot of places, but that is one of the more recent ones. Now, abortion is nearly tied with the economy, 21 to 23 there in a recent poll of women voters. Earlier, the former president spoke about the Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe v. Wade.
They wanted it back in the states for a vote of the people, and that's why we have it. And the states are now voting for it. And honestly, some of them are going much more liberal, like in Ohio. I would have thought it might
Some of
be
them
a
are
little bit
not.
different, and some of them are not. But it's going to be redone. It's going to be redone. You end up with a vote of the people, and some of them I agree they're too tough, and those are going to be redone.
So that was just a short time ago. Harris Faulkner joins us live from Battleground, Georgia, where she hosted that Trump town hall. Harris, great job. Really interesting to watch these women and have a full audience of women expressing their questions for the former president. What really stood out to you in terms of what got the biggest response from the group there?
Oh, that would be the economy.
Yeah.
I mean, and some of the questions included very personal details of the living conditions for some of the women in the audience. You know, they're struggling. They've got daycare, $1,400 a month. I mean, that's like quadruple what they had been paying, 3.5 years ago. So there are some tough situations out there. Some of them left their jobs to be at that town hall for a day. I mean, the economy impacts everything we do. Those women didn't let it stop them from showing up and asking questions. They're looking for answers. And, there are 6% undecided voters in the state of Georgia. If you look at the last few elections, that has made a difference in the past. Now, the early vote total that was confirmed last night was 307,000 people. Now, early vote is in person here. Martha, those lines were long all over the state. Now, we don't know county by county yet. That's going to make a difference. But these women were from all over the state. So we got to see the issues that not only matter to women in Georgia, but, I mean, issues are issues. Yes, they can be female focused, but we know that we care about the economy. We sometimes run more households. We married two great guys, you and me. But I don't know how it is in your household. I'm running the pocketbook. Many women are living like that. God bless them.
I'm not. I got out of that job. And it's my husband's birthday today, since you brought him up. So happy birthday to him. I want to play this because I thought this was interesting. And I want to ask you what their, overall, what your feel in the room was for how much immigration matters to these voters. And here's what former President Trump said on cracking down on Mexico, what he did and what he felt worked. Watch this.
Okay.
We built 571 miles of wall, and that wall worked. Then I got Mexico to give us soldiers, a lot of soldiers, 28,000 soldiers to protect us. I said, you have to protect us because you're letting all of these criminals come into our country. You have to protect us. They said, we're not going to do it. I said, good, then I'm just going to tariff all your goods until you do it. They said, like I said, we're going to do it. And they gave us...
I mean, you can hear the laughter in the room. And this is what I find so interesting about the tariff discussion, because it's clear to me, and I'm sure you, as we have both watched him over the years, the tariff thing is an opening salvo. It's like, if you don't do this, then I'm going to slap these on you to get people to do what he wants them to do. And it happens.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Money make the world go round here, okay? And if Mexico wants to keep shipping their goods over here, having us hardworking Americans pay for them, then damn it, yeah, we're going to get some incentives as well.
So what the French toast is going to think about?
Yes, you're going to have to help stop your illegals and things like that from coming over here. If you want to keep shipping either you're going to ship your goods over here or you're going to ship your illegals over here. You got to make up your mind which one you're going to do. Because that's just plain and simple out here, okay? You're gonna have to make up your mind. Are you gonna ship your illegal people over here, or are you gonna ship goods and services, which makes your country money? You got to make up your mind out here. Which one you want to do?
Has worked in the past. What was the reaction to that in the crowd?
Well, they liked it because it's movement forward. Yeah. And, we talk about reflexively going back to the policies that worked. He's also moving them forward. He wants to incentivize international partners because they're now going to be competing. If he lowers the taxes for those who do business, that's going to be tougher for everybody. So those relationships across borders and around the world with the next president who would do such a thing, with the strength of a threat of higher tariffs on goods that they're producing, is probably a 1-2 punch. You know, do business with us, do business with our better leveraged American corporations, because I'm lowering the taxes on them to let them hire more workers and produce more goods here. And also, by the way, if you don't help us secure our border, you're going to get penalties with higher tariffs. So it's an interesting strategy. He drilled down, and Martha, I think that's the point.
Yeah.
I think people are ready for a closing argument and specificity, and he offered it.
Well, it was a great town hall, Harris, and thanks for taking some time to talk with us after. I'm sure you're getting ready to head back here to New York. Thank you very much. Good to see you, Harris, and we look forward to
You too, and happy birthday to your
well,
beloved.
Thank you.
Okay, and these are just the facts. Some of the things that Trump was speaking on in the town hall meeting and things like that. Yes, it was a lot of other things as well, but you know, I did want to bring the situation about the border situation, because at the end of the day, that does affect us all, rich, poor, it doesn't matter, things like that. It affects the way that we live over here, our whole American culture, with allowing people in that ought not need to be here. And this is just facts, you know. So yeah, it is what it is. You heard what he had to say about that situation. He's willing to shut it down. He's definitely willing to eradicate the whole sanctuary city situation and things like that. And, you know, I think that's a win for what we need to do over here in this country. I'm all about America being selfish again. You know, we have problems in our own home, and we need to fix these problems first before we try to salvage and everything around the world. We have huge issues here. We got roads that still need to be redone from 50, 60 years ago of you know, doing the highway, well, more than 50, but you know, highways that need to be redone, things like that, buildings that need to be refurbished, all types of crazy stuff that we need over here. And our economy is not really stable enough right now to try to go out there and Superman the rest of the damn world.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
It's just not. It's just not. And these are just facts right here, you know. So hopefully we can get things together over here for ourselves in this country. And, you know, let's be prosperous as a nation for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? I know you guys want to eat out there. I know you guys want to, you know, shit. Who don't want to eat? Everybody don't go to work hard every day to give our money away in taxes to everybody else and stuff like that when we need shit fixed here at home. But it is what it is, though, man. Hey, shout out to all my subscribers out there. Mad love to y'all. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell to be notified whenever I decide to post things. And like I always say,
and that, my friends, is the bottom line.
That, my friends, is the bottom line.